Euphoria. Next up, sachet. All right, spell exert. Your word is stumble. Your word is suck. Next up, erupt. Spell twist. The next word is enact. All right, spell size. Spell ash. Your word is cabin. Can you spell proof? Next up, word. Your word is echo. The next word is convey. Spell gender. Spell bingo. All right, spell hungry. Can you spell brain? Your word is greedy. All right, spell pray. Next up, grub. All right, spell plethora. Your word is scrutiny. Can you spell tangerine? Your word is walnut. Spell appetite. Next up, gazebo. Next up, magnificent. Can you spell voluntary? All right, spell immobilize. Spell agnostic. Spell accumulation. Spell sabotage. Can you spell Wednesday? Spell predominantly. The next word is encore. Spell surveillance.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Your word is wind. Spell burial. Can you spell pie? The next word is workout. Can you spell defy? Next up, update. All right, spell vein. Next up, human. Spell forbid. The next word is filter. Next up, clever. Can you spell wrist? Next up, pair. Your word is ink. Your word is gold. The next word is enact. Next up, human. Next up, brain. Your word is quack. The next word is margin. Spell firefighter. Next up, abstract. Next up, tremendous. Spell rye. Next up, normal. The next word is dolphin. Can you spell walnut? All right, spell irony. All right, spell shake. The next word is echo. All right, spell comply. Can you spell emoji? Next up, reply. Spell random. Can you spell water? Your word is ruby. All right, spell exile. All right, spell pie. Spell length. Spell noble. Next up, exert. All right, spell convey. Spell workout. The next word is wrist. All right, spell next
Power. Filter.
up. Next up.
Wind.
All right, spell obesity. The next word is
Tangerine.
can you spell guideline? All right, spell breakthrough. All right, spell await. Next up.
Bayonet.
Spell.
Lather.
All right, spell offender. Spell
Formidable.
can you spell transaction? All right, spell
Town.
your word is
Pray.
the next word is
Bingo.
the next word is
Hungry.
spell
Prank.
can you spell burial? All right, spell defy. Your word is gender. Spell
Flower.
spell
Update.
all right, spell
Kiss.
all right, spell
Cool.
can you spell
Giant.
your word is
Clever.
your word is absorb. Spell
Soda.
all right, spell
Ash.
next up.
Pear.
Next up.
Proof.
Next up.
Cliff.
Can you spell
Familiar.
next up? Vague. Next up. Betray. The next word is
Telepathy.
Your word is
Pasta.
The next word is dairy. Can you spell robust? Can you spell sigh? The next word is
Cabin.
next up.
Ink.
Your word is duck. Next up, erupt. All right, spell.
Size.
Can you spell
Zoo.
spell?
Film.
Next up, stumble. All right, spell.
Iron.
Spell.
Hotel.
Next up,
Still.
next up, monk. All right, spell vein. Next up,
House.
Pizza! Pizza!
spell suck. Spell intent. Next up,
Plethora.
spell albeit. Next up,
Quill.
all right, spell.
Window.
All right, spell.
Queen.
Can you spell pigeon? Spell.
Congratulate.
Spell.
Grub.
The next word is rally. All right, spell.
State.
Wow, congrats, man. Congrats.
Your word is trauma. Spell.
Forbid.
Can you spell?
Twist.
All right, spell.
Greedy.
Your word is noob. All right, spell.
Mix.
The next word is
Tank.
all right, spell.
Word.
Next up, dairy. Can you spell?
Iron.
The next word is
Kiss.
spell. Exile. Spell.
Exert.
The next word is flower. Your word is gender. Spell echo. Spell ash. Next up, secret. Can you spell magnificent? Spell 20. All right, spell bizarre. All right, spell special. All right, spell congratulate. Spell normal. The next word is refugee.
What in the world is a royal clutch? Holy crap, they charge $100 on Walmart but $40 on Amazon? No, that's AliExpress.
Your
There's
word
another
is
Walmart.
twist.
There's another Walmart that charges 70.
Next up, size.
These prices
Next
are
up,
weird.
pasta.
Welcome to the underground.
The next word is brain.
No.
Spell pray. Can you spell pear? Can you spell human? Your word is still.
Bro, I can't click on the duck because she's in front of it.
Spell sigh.
There you go.
Can you spell prank?
Oh.
Can you spell power? Your word is quack.
Almost press enter.
Your word is monk. Can you spell noob? The next word is intent. Spell margin.
Flying gorilla. Oh my god. Have you seen the flying gorilla ads?
Next up, wind.
It's
Next
low.
up, gold.
Oh no no.
Your word is robust. Spell absorb. All right, spell syntax. Can you spell embassy? All right, spell powder. All right, spell betray. Next up, armor. All right, spell rye. Spell window. The next word is scrutiny. Spell curious. Next up, queen. Next up, pomegranate. Can you spell proclamation? Can you spell exaggerate? The next word is suck. Next up,
Cabin.
all right, spell
Word.
all right, spell irony. Can you spell convey? Can you spell
Clever.
the next word is bingo. Your word is stumble. All right, spell
Soda.
your word is
Ink.
spell duck. All right, spell
Giant.
the next word is
Hotel.
spell defy. Your word is
Ruby.
your word is
Pie.
can you spell trauma? The next word is vain. Your word is
Water.
spell
Town.
the next word is
Familiar.
next up, albeit. Albeit. Your word is abolish. Spell firefighter. The next word is
Uncomfortable.
can you spell alliance? Your word is
Meditate.
the next word is voluntary. Your word is seldom. Next up,
Greedy.
all right, spell.
Reply.
Next up,
Zoo.
the next word is
State.
spell.
Film.
Can you spell
House.
all right, spell.
Update.
The next word is
Proof.
next up, erupt. All right, spell
Forbid.
Can you spell wrist? Wrist. Your word is burial. Your word is
Length.
spell
Cliff.
Can you spell random? Spell
Tank.
spell
Grub. Grub.
spell.
Hungry.
All right, spell
Shake.
your word is
Emoji.
your word is
Center.
spell.
Gazebo.
All right, spell
Subsidy.
spell.
Noble.
All right, spell workout. Your word is
Enact.
next up, comply. The next word is
Cool.
next up,
Filter.
next up, rally. The next word is
Mix.
spell.
Hotel.
Next up, duck. All right, spell
Vein.
your word is
Proof.
your word is
Reply.
your word is
House.
next up, burial. The next word is
Gold.
the next word is
Word.
your word is
Prank.
can you spell
Cool.
next up, trauma. Next up,
Powder.
next up,
Uncomfortable.
spell absence. All right, spell transaction. Next up, echo. All right, spell.
Giant.
All right, spell.
Filter.
All right, spell.
Ink.
Spell.
Soda.
The next word is convey. Your word is
Water.
spell intent. The next word is
Ruby.
next up, dairy. Can you spell
Cabin.
next up?
Twist.
Can you spell
Kiss.
the next word is
Length.
spell
Zoo.
next up? Noob. Can you spell exile? Can you spell workout? Next up,
Exert.
next up, defy. Can you spell
Formidable.
next up, voluntary? Next up, scrutiny. The next word is
Circle.
your word is
Tangerine.
can you spell
Familiar.
your word is betray. The next word is strategic. Your word is integrity. Can you spell
Broccoli.
all right, spell noble. Your word is
Iron.
all right, spell
Still.
next up,
Pie.
spell
Film.
all right, spell wrist. The next word is gender. Next up,
Emoji.
next up, enact. All right, spell
Shake.
spell irony. Next up,
Quack.
the next word is
Tank. Tank.
your word is
Brain.
the next word is erupt. Your word is monk. The next word is comply. Can you spell random? The next word is
Power.
can you spell
Bingo.
spell frolic? Spell
Villain.
your word is remarkable. The next word is
Paradox.
all right, spell
Overdue.
your word is pigeon. Can you spell
Diesel.
your word is bizarre? Next up,
Armor.
next up, firefighter. Next up, assumption. Your word is
Propaganda.
can you spell
Venerate. Venerate.
the next word is
Resilience.
can you spell brusque? Brusque. All right, spell
Shareholder.
your word is systematic. All right, spell oblivious. Next up, agriculture. Next up, recipient. Your word is
Greedy.
spell.
Mix.
Next up,
Human.
next up,
Size.
spell forbid. Your word is
Pasta.
all right, spell robust. All right, spell
Wind.
next up,
State.
your word is
Flower.
spell.
Hungry.
The next word is stumble. Spell absorb. Your word is rally. Next up,
Update.
the next word is suck. Can you spell
Cliff.
the next word is
Grub.
all right, spell
Ash.
all right, spell sigh. All right, spell
Congratulate.
spell
Lightning.
spell
Warrior. Spell offender. Your word is semicircle. Can you spell seldom? Can you spell bayonet? Your word is crowd. The next word is gazebo. Spell quill. Your word is participation. Can you spell nonplussed? Can you spell margin? Can you spell pray? Spell pear. Next up, clever. Next up, town. All right, spell brain. Next up, ruby. Ruby. Can you spell pasta? Next up, quack. Spell absorb. Your word is word. All right, spell grub. Spell trauma. The next word is intent. Next up, house. Your word is pie. Spell pray. Spell ink. Spell tank. Spell soda. Next up, thesis. The next word is center. Can you spell firefighter? Spell crowd. All right, spell embassy. Spell appetite. The next word is lather. Spell villain. Next up, flavor. Spell ionize. Spell intermission. The next word is epiphany.
The next word is margin. Next up, noble. Next up,
cabin.
can you spell
Reply.
next up, suck? Suck. Can you spell
Hungry.
can you spell echo? Can you spell
Clever.
all right, spell
Zoo.
next up?
Hotel.
Can you spell wrist? Can you spell duck? The next word is
Power.
the next word is
Flower.
all right, spell
State.
your word is
Kiss.
your word is
Greedy.
can you spell forbid? Spell
Mix.
spell
Proof.
can you spell tremendous? Can you spell
Quill.
the next word is
Gazebo.
all right, spell
Town.
can you spell
Wind.
all right, spell
Cool.
all right, spell exile. All right, spell
Twist.
next up,
Exert.
all right, spell robust. The next word is dairy. Next up,
Update.
next up, vein. Can you spell
Gold.
the next word is
Pear.
all right, spell
Giant.
spell
Water.
your word is random. Your word is
Human.
your word is noob. The next word is enact. Can you spell
Filter.
can you spell
Still.
next up,
Semicircle.
all right, spell
Lightning.
your word is
Diesel.
all right, spell
Sniffle.
the next word is
Window.
All right, spell debris. Can you spell tangerine? Your word is seldom. The next word is immobilize. Your word is magnificent. Next up, necromancer. The next word is neighboring. Your word is imminent. All right, spell kangaroo. All right, spell rhythm. Spell emoji. Your word is iron. The next word is stumble. Next up, monk. All right, spell defy. Spell shake. Your word is workout. Next up, sigh. The next word is irony. The next word is rally. The next word is ash. The next word is bingo. Your word is cliff. The next word is burial. Next up, prank. Can you spell convey? Next up, erupt. Spell size. The next word is gender. All right, spell length. Can you spell breakthrough? The next word is scrutiny. Spell password. Your word is broccoli. Spell film. Next up, comply. Spell pasta. Your word is margin. The next word is pear. Spell bingo. Spell dairy. Can you spell exert? Can you spell proof? Next up, brain. Spell rally. Spell mix. Next up, monk. Your word is noble. The next word is size. Your word is trauma. The next word is town. All right, spell shake. The next word is burial. Next up, absorb. Next up, vague. Next up, albeit. The next word is probably. All right, spell burger. The next word is embassy. All right, spell agnostic. The next word is familiar. Spell automatic. Next up, lather. Can you spell quill? Next up, violation. Your word is ideological. Your word is photographer. Next up, colonel. Your word is Excalibur. Your word is still. Next up, prank. Spell comply. Next up, defy. The next word is pray. All right, spell iron. Can you spell pie? Spell intent. Next up, human. Can you spell robust? All right, spell suck. All right, spell clever. The next word is sigh. Your word is echo. Can you spell reply? Spell grub. The next word is film. Your word is
kiss,
the next word is
quack,
all right, spell ruby. Can you spell
diesel,
your word is abstract. The next word is seldom. Next up, scrutiny.